The world revolves around Roman Reigns.
You know it, Marks.
Guys, Friday Night Smackdown. Let's get into a review. Friday Night Smackdown. Friday Night Smackdown started off with your Tribal Chief. First off, it was like the most BS throwback Smackdown of all time. Everybody was expecting to see the old set, either the fist or the big circles, the big ovals from
like that.
the original Smackdown set. Nothing. We got like a CGI fist, and we had Michael Cole wearing his old denim button-down shirt. You had a baby face, Pat McAfee looking like he was 16 years old, dressed like Vince McMahon. So that's pretty much all we got. But the show started off with your Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, coming out. He is in there with obviously Jey Uso and Paul Heyman. They're in there and they're talking about Daniel Bryan, how he ended the career, and how he's bringing somebody who's going to acknowledge him, unlike Daniel Bryan would. And it ends up being the returning Jimmy Uso, who we haven't seen since pretty much Hell in the Cell. And, you know, he's celebrating, boom, boom, all happy. He gets interrupted by Cesaro and then kicks off the match. Cesaro and Seth Rollins attacking him from behind, so it kicks off their match. Teddy Long comes out and says if Cesaro wins this match between Rollins and himself, he gets the WrestleMania Backlash championship match against Roman Reigns. So this is the match that starts off the show. But it's cool to see Jimmy back. And especially I like the Paul Heyman 10-bell salute for Daniel Bryan. That was funny stuff.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Great to see Jimmy back, and like that's just gonna throw this whole new storyline with the whole family. Yep. Like, you know, where's Jay gonna, you know, is Jay gonna go with Roman? Is Jay gonna go with Jimmy? Is Jimmy gonna go with Roman and Jay? You know, it's like it's a great thing. Crap throwback SmackDown. Like, just like, what are you doing? Like, you just gave us the old logo and that's it. Like, it was, you just put some crap together and we're like, oh, this is don't do though. Like, if you're not gonna go full on out, then don't do it. It's stupid. Even like it was terrible. Like, I thought that was so corny. Teddy Long back, I guess, you know, whatever. Always good to see the Hall of Famer Teddy Long in there. But good way to start the show. It's all about Roman. It's all about the family, the Tribal Chief, all that stuff. Love the way the show started.
Yeah, so then we get the match Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, you know, the WrestleMania match that we had at WrestleMania. So the match is solid because these two guys work very, very well with each other. Now, the issue was you had Jimmy and Jay on the outside. And when Cesaro got thrown over the top rope by Seth Rollins, they were going to attack Cesaro to help out Rollins. Rollins came out and said, I'm not Roman. I don't need your help. So he tosses Cesaro in the ring. But after he does, Jay taps him on the shoulder. Seth gets really upset, says, don't touch me, pushes him to the ground. Then he gets super kicked by Jimmy, allowing Cesaro to, you know, get the win with the equalizer. Now, the neutralizer, I'm sorry. He will face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash for that Universal Championship.
Cesaro has him in the position for the neutralizer, gets him up, puts him down. Cesaro has a chance. He's got a chance here. Can he do it?
Fine, cool. It just didn't seem like the most important thing, to be honest with you. The most important thing that kind of overshadowed it is the Jimmy, Jay, and Roman triangle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think like the side story that's supposed to be the whole Tribal Chief family is kind of taking, you know, center stage. I mean, it would have been smarter to do it, you know, after Backlash and bring Jimmy that first Friday after Backlash probably made more sense. But great match by Cesaro and Seth. Those guys can't have a bad match. It's impossible. They're just so good together. They've been doing it since the Ring of Honor days. So just, you know, awesome match. And, you know, Cesaro has his chance. He has a chance to shine. He's not going to win. We all know he's not going to win. But if he can go out there and just, you know, have a great match, go out there and just dominate and be the Swiss Superman and, you know, lose at the end of the day, but just put himself in the picture as a top guy. Like, that's what we all want. And maybe one day, maybe SummerSlam, you know, maybe he's the guy that later on dethrones Roman. You know, this is a great start to it. And Backlash, if he has a great match, a great showing, you know, the sky's the limit for Cesaro.
Definitely. Yeah, well, he doesn't seem like he has any shot whatsoever of winning that championship. But this causes rifts between Rollins and Reigns. Then Rollins goes into Reigns' locker room. They actually have their first like interaction one-on-one. And he says, you know, who should I be mad at? You, and talking to Reigns, who should I be mad at, your cousin or you? And then Reigns says, you know, I understand what you're saying, but put yourself in my shoes. Now I gotta fix this problem with my family, and you losing causes me a problem because I gotta take care of business with Cesaro at WrestleMania Backlash now. So, you know, Rollins says, we're cool, go take care of your cousin before I do. So this is where the issue starts. You have Jimmy and Jay going back and forth. You have Roman trying to scold Jimmy, but Jimmy's not taking it. He's like, I'm no one's bitch. I'm not taking it. I don't want you to do it to my brother and everything like that. So it caused a big ass rift between everybody involved. And then him and Jay would have a conversation on the side saying like, look, what you doing, you think it's for the family. It's just for Roman. We could be tag team champions. Roman could be universal champion. That's what's good for the family. Then you have Sami Zayn backstage. He's talking to Teddy Long with Sonya Deville, and he wants a match against Apollo Crews. What he gets is a 10-man tag with the heels, the most random grouping of guys I think I've ever seen. It was him, Sami Zayn, King Corbin, who he called King Booker, which is pretty funny, Chad Gable, Otis, Apollo, and then you had Commander Adiz, I think his name is. I forget what his name is.
We're gonna call Colonel Akbar. That's what we're calling him.
So he was the actor. So it's like the most random grouping of guys. They're taking on Big E, the Street Profits, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Kevin Owens. So it was a fun little thing in the back.
The whole thing's random.
Super random, but I really like the whole like Jimmy J, now the whole rift between the two. Even though I think it's still gonna end with Jimmy falling in line and them doing the kind of like the family type of thing. I hope it doesn't break it up though. I hope they don't choose to break everything up.
No, I can see that becoming. Both brothers are working with Roman for a while, and then like their heels are always gonna they're basically his bitch, and then they break off, and then they become like huge baby faces that take on Roman Reigns, and that just will create megastars basically if you book it correctly and you have it kind of run its course and do what it needs to do, and you can definitely build hell of a babyface crew with the Usos against Roman.
Yeah, definitely can. So we'll see how that turns out. Like I said, hopefully that doesn't happen. They don't break it up, and he ends up joining them. Next thing on the show was Ruby Riott versus a returning Carmella, who we hadn't seen kind of in a little bit.
Ages.
Carmella wins quickly. Not much to talk about. Hopefully they build Carmella as like a credible challenger for the championship. And after this, you would get a Bayley promo. She would come out. It wasn't a good promo, to be honest with you. She's just there, and she says, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna talk about the women's champions of history. In history." Rattles off a few names, and then she talks about Bianca Belair, kind of trashes her. She says, she doesn't have confidence and she's insecure. Bianca comes out. They brawl back and forth, and Bianca kind of stands tall in the end. So I'm sorry. Bayley stands tall because Bianca had the upper hand in the beginning. Then Bayley took her down, stomped on her hair, tried to pull her earring out, and Bayley stood tall at the end. Sorry about that. So yeah, Bayley stood tall at the end. And I mean, it's pretty much it. I mean, this match is gonna be good at WrestleMania Backlash, but the story behind it is just kind of bleh.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt about the Sasha booking. With her, and the WrestleMania match was awesome. Bianca killed it. Bianca shows up the same way she did at WrestleMania with Bayley. Bayley shows up as well. They'll have a great match, but the booking has been just subpar. Yeah,
definitely. Now, next thing on the show was Dominik Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, it was announced before that the tag team match at WrestleMania Backlash would be a tag team championship match: the Dirty Dogs versus the Mysterios. Which I talked about in my news and rumors, which I think personally, I think they're going to swap the titles here and give it to Rey and Dominik, which they should have done at WrestleMania. They should have had this match at WrestleMania and had it done it there. But I think this was going to happen. But we have the match Mysterio versus Ziggler. Dominik gets a sneaky little win over Ziggler, and that's pretty much it. They're going into Backlash for those tag titles. We'll see who wins. I think they're going to swap it to the Mysterios.
Yeah, this is just that back and forth of like, this is the match we're going to have, so let's have their variations of that match. And this is what this was. And we're just going to see that the Mysterios, at Backlash WrestleMania become the tag team champions, father and son. I'm not sure that's ever been done before in the history of WWE anyway. Can't really think of anything like that. So it's pretty awesome. They're becoming a dynasty, basically, the Mysterios, believe it or not.
Pretty much. The next thing on the show was the match we've all been waiting for: Tamina versus Reginald. He's taking on Reg. She's taking on Reg, and it's pretty much a disqualification. It's just Reginald doing his bunch of flips and stuff. He's a very athletic guy, very nimble guy, but that's pretty much it. And Tamina's gonna go for the splash. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler get involved. It's it's a DQ finish, and then the beatdown ensues of Tamina afterwards. The next week's show is gonna have the tag team title match between Tamina, Natalya versus Nia Jax and Baszler. Who cares?
I don't get the infatuation with Reg. I mean, I just don't know why he was Carmella's lackey, and then Carmella fell to the wayside, and now he's like the big star, and he's basically just shitting on the women's tag division because he's just going in there making a joke of it and taking away any credibility from the belts, from any of the tag teams involved, because you got a guy flipping around and speaking about different wine. So whatever. Stupid.
Yeah, it's bad stuff. Next thing was the most random grouping of heels I've ever seen in my life, the 10-man tag match. It was just a cluster. It's all over the place, a bunch of stuff going on. In the end, King Corbin's able to pin Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's it. We'll see what if only thing that's gonna come out of this is, you know, Kevin Owens, Big E, Sami Zayn, Apollo Crews for that IC title, maybe to fit a 4-way at Backlash or something like that. The next happening.
Yeah, I mean the match was an entertaining match, but it was just so randomly put together that we're just like it's like kind of just a one-off that doesn't really, you know. There's some things with Crews and Big E that's kind of where the biggest part of it's coming out of, but yeah, it was just so random, but it was a good match, a solid match.
Yeah, it's just a lot of guys in the ring. So the next thing is the Roman Reigns ultimatum at the end. This is the biggest thing on the show. Obviously, anything Roman does, like I said in the beginning, the world revolves around Roman Reigns right now. The entire universe revolves around WWE universe revolves around him. He comes out and he's talking, you know, he's there with Jay, and he's telling Jimmy to come out and, you know, answer what you're gonna do. So he comes out, and then Jimmy talks about the Hell in the Cell stuff that went on, where he choked out Jimmy to force Jay to say, "I quit." So, you know, the emotion involved and all that stuff, you know, so that's what he's bringing up. But, you know, Roman says, you know, if you're not going to fall in line, just get the step and get the hell out of here, go home, and you're going to see me and your brother on TV doing our thing while you sit at home. So Jimmy just leaves and he's walking away. Jay's going to help stop him, leaving Roman in the ring by himself. And here comes Cesaro attacking Roman. Jay comes in. Jay gets beat down. Jimmy comes in and attacks Cesaro. Cesaro just drops everybody, hits everybody with the neutralizer. Even though neutralizers were kind of sloppy, I don't know what happened. He couldn't grip him or he couldn't get him up. I don't know. They were kind of weird, the neutralizers he was hitting. But he stood tall and he left the man up, and all three of them were laid out in the ring.
If he does, he could be champion. Cesaro proves he's got a chance.
I mean, yeah, it's a good spot for him. It's solid, you know. It's solid him come in and lay everybody out. We just can't take him credibly right now. Especially his promo in the beginning of the show was weak too. It's just he's a weak promo. It's tough. It is honestly tough to get this guy to be believable as a guy who could actually win the championship. We could all see him as a champion. It's not that he's not believable as a champion, but believable enough for him to be the guy to beat Roman Reigns. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's not believable to beat Roman Reigns, but if you can have him in the match, not dominate, but definitely control the match, and then you have Jimmy and Jay come out and, you know, basically be the reason why Roman wins, and you can keep Cesaro strong. The only reason why he won, why Roman won, was because Jimmy and Jay, and then you can make book something out of that, and, you know, he's just coming off super hot and super a big deal. Maybe we can get a few going for the next couple of months. I don't believe it will happen, but I hope it will happen. I'm hopeful, very, very hopeful about it. But Cesaro, I mean, we all love him. We all want to get behind him. But you're right. He's not the best promo. He's probably never going to be the best promo, but he's just so good in the ring. He's such a great athlete and believable athlete that if booked correctly in these matches, he can definitely be somebody that can, down the road, be someone that takes the belt off of Roman.
Yeah, true that. I hope they give a shot to Shinsuke Nakamura as well soon. Yes. Those are the kind of guys that need to get shots eventually soon. We don't think Roman or Shinsuke would be Cesaro or Shinsuke would be the guys to take it off of Roman. Roman just seems like a solid year-long champion.
I mean, he might do Bruno Sammartino at this point. He might go like 5 years.
Depending, like when you look at the roster, maybe the only guy who has the in-ring physical set and the mic skills, character-wise, maybe just Big E and Seth Rollins. Probably the only two guys off the top of my head. And Kevin Owens got his shot already, so he's going to be gone for a while out of that picture. But just those two guys off the top of my head right now, the two guys on SmackDown that have the chops on the mic, the character, and the in-ring skills, the trinity of things that you kind of need to be that guy to beat Roman. So we'll see what happens. But guys, that's a review for this video for SmackDown. Drop a like on this video. It helps us out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Hit the chair in the corner for it hits you first and sub to the channel. We'll catch you guys on the next one. If it doesn't work for you, bro, do not do the job.
Later, Marks.